That's why you're here. I want to say hello to you, and I want to say a special salute to the Service Employees International Union. That's why I wore my purple today, because I want to let you know that Mary Kay Henry comes out to my office all the time in Washington talking about the issues that are important to her and important to me. And those issues come down to some fairly basic things that I think this election is all about. First issue is whether or not we believe in the importance of collective bargaining and public employee unions, and I do. I want to make that very clear. I come from a union family, and I have not forgotten what the union movement and the labor unions have done for America. It was the labor unions that brought us the 40-hour work week. Yeah. It was the labor unions that brought us overtime pay. It was the labor unions that made sure there was safety in the workplace. It was the labor unions that made sure that children weren't working in that place. It was the labor unions that guaranteed health insurance for their workers so they have an opportunity to have that peace of mind. And it was the labor unions that pushed for retirement so that when people worked a lifetime, they could have a little comfort in their last years. Those would have never would have happened without organized labor. And SEIU, more than any other union, I don't want to get in trouble with my other friends in labor, but SEIU, more than any other union, has stood up for the premise that you don't have to make $50 an hour to be in a union. We're here to represent you, to make sure you have a decent living wage, whatever job you have. And I think that's worth fighting for, and that's what this election is about. And I want to tell you this too. We've got to build a nation where people who get up and go to work every single day can make enough money to get by. Yeah. That's not a radical idea. That's what we're all about. Now there's one candidate, and I won't mention his name, he's in another party running for another office, who actually at one point called for cutting the minimum wage, reducing the minimum wage. He's had second thoughts about that now, I'm glad. But I want to tell you, try living on a minimum wage if you think you can cut it. We are going to increase it. President Obama has told us to move it up to $10.10 an hour. I'm signing up for that. I support that. And I want to make sure too, no apologies. I believe in the Affordable Care Act. I believe in Obamacare. I believe that it can be improved and fixed. But the basic idea that every single one of us should have the peace of mind of knowing that we have health insurance should be part of living in America. That shouldn't even be debatable. If you have ever been a father with a sick baby and no health insurance, you'll never forget it as long as you live. My friends, I've been there. I'll never forget it as long as I live, and I don't want that to happen to anybody else. And I'm willing to fight to make sure that people, rich and poor, have access to health insurance. That ought to be one of the most basic things that we guarantee in America. So there's an election coming, and I won't take any more time other than to tell you, I'm greatly honored to have had SEIU support and support of organized labor in every major race. If you're kind enough to allow me to continue as your U.S. Senator, to be working in Washington, I'm going to work on the issues that working families care about. I'm going to do my best to make sure that there's a strong voice in Washington for people who get up and go to work every day, struggle paycheck to paycheck, and wonder if anybody out there even cares. I care, and I care for your vote too, and I hope you'll support me. Thank you.